Super Smash Bros. Released Sephiroth's DLC recently a couple days ago, along with the Northern Cave, which is a stage that I, unfortunately, am the only person in the world who is disappointed by the fact that this stage does not have enough. Now, many people would argue that this is one of the many tournament legal stages that they can finally play on, but I would argue that Hazards Off exists, and that we can include obstacles and hazards in order to make the stage feel a little bit more party-like. Now, people would argue, how would that work? Well, I have something for you. In the same way that Midgar works in Super Smash Bros., we are going to apply the exact same thing onto Northern Cave, and that, my friends, is Materia. And here are some ideas that I think you might like. So imagine a scenario where we were not allowed to use new materia for Northern Cave this time around. We're going to have to reuse the same materia. Well, how can we make it interesting and live up to the original attacks you see in Midgar? Well, I have an entire spreadsheet just to talk about it. Now let's see here, okay? This right here, we're going to go a little loose on this, is what we can do for Ramuh, which is the old guy with the pole that does lightning on the platforms and whatnot. How I would imagine it, it's one of three options, okay? For one, he could just all out just send lightning across the entire main platform so that everybody has to evade on the two mini platforms here if they can. And it would just, for a couple seconds just strike on the floor. Or it would just flash. Something like that, Flashes in and out. Or it intensifies. It gets a little weak, and then after a little bit of time, it starts to really, intensify. Or, you can either have that, or have just, single strands so that you can actually fit in these little spaces and kind of, avoid the attack that way. Or you can have one single really strong lightning strike, or weak one at first, and just kind of go from left to right, and then just kind of go left and right, and it intensifies the more it moves. So you have to kind of evade it that way. Or you can have a huge lightning bolt, or 5 in fact, one that goes in different random spots in the main platform that, like in Mega Man games, for example, has other bolts that fly off and spread out really fast into the stage. Now these aren't as strong as the lightning bolt, okay? And my idea is that you can use the lightning bolts, not use the lightning bolts, but rather you can expect them, because there's going to be some sort of aurora before the lightning bolts strike, so that way you would get an idea of where it is. But there's going to be 5, and then the 5th one is going to be a really strong lightning bolt, which hits on the stage for 2 seconds and then disappears. And that would be the strongest one. So that's my idea for Ramuh, which is Judgment Bolt. Many characters and many summons in Final Fantasy VII have more than one attack. Now, Ifrit doesn't have 2 attacks, he just has many different names for the same attack, which is called Hellfire. But I decided to do many different things for this, assuming that they didn't really do the same thing with Midgar. They did pillars of fire that would hit the stage and put it topsy-turvy or something. So one of the things is to have 2 hells of fire, right? And 2 pillars of fire, and just let them extend to the top. So it's like an arena. And, if you get launched on this side, you get instantly scorched and you have to get sent back and next back. It's almost like a pinball sort of thing. It's like some sort of cage fight, And this would kind of be at the bottom. It'd be an endless hellhole of, damage that's around the stage. Or you can have this where, instead of the walls like in Persona, you can have scorching walls of fire coming in from here and from the bottom. So, say you want to hit someone here, and they would, die that way if they had really high damage. Something like that, Or, even better, no, not even better actually, just like the Moon Assist Trophy, you can have Ifrit kind of come in from the background, because in this original games, he was actually supposed to be dashing into the enemies. There would be this little target thing, kind of let you know where he's headed, and like the Moon, he would get really close up on that area and just be there and, kill people for a couple seconds. And I said 3 times over here because it's not going to be as long as the Moon's attack, but it's going to come in, and then the third one's going to be a lot bigger and it's going to intensify. That's what I imagine for Ifrit over here. Or, you know, you can do what Spirits Mode did, and you can always have a wall of floor of fire, but I don't think anybody wants that, so yeah, that's pretty much it for Ifrit. Odin has 2 different moves, and one of them is Steel-Bladed Sword and a Lance. So he uses a huge sword to cut people, and he uses a lance to pierce through people and stab them. Now, here are my ideas for the sword. One of them is to go all out with the sword and just cut it in 4 pieces. And like, it can be either like a zigzag motion, or it can be straight like up, down, up, you know, and just split those all 4. I imagine Northern Cave is one of those stages that wouldn't reform. So, like if it didn't, then it would just dissolve into rubble or something like that. Or you can have it something a little bit more unorthodox, where he would like kind of slash people in the air first and then cut it in 2, which would make this platform completely open like that. The platforms would be, you know, the small platforms would be there too, but this one over here, this little thing, would make you cut the entire slim stage in half this way. So the platforms would be here, and you have these platforms over here. And assuming that these platforms come together, it would crush instantly anybody that's inside this area already. Now, how would people even get in here? That is a question I would like to theorize a lot about, but that's gonna be something that's worth thinking about, right? Now, Leviathan. I actually totally forgot what Leviathan's signature move is, but I know that he has water attacks, and there's so much potential for water. Let me go with one of the worst ones. Waterfalls coming out from the sky that just completely blow you down. You can literally make this in custom stages, where like a pillar or like a block just completely falls down on someone. But yeah, waterfalls coming straight down. Or you can have an entire waterfall flowing down with water that just pushes people away. And it's just kind of like that. It's not really that big of a damage thing, but it does push people away, and it kind of sends that waterfall. It would look nice. Or 3, you have geysers, right? And those geysers would be where these platforms would be. It'd be underwater, and if you were unlucky, it would bubble up and it would explode like a geyser, and it would send you flying up in the air, no matter how much damage you had. So you have to be really careful of that. Or 4, this one's my favorite. This one is when the entire stage submerges in water, and that way Leviathan appears, and he, like Rayquaza, kind of like shifts through the stage, you know, attacking other people inside it. You obviously have less gravity inside water, and I even added a little marker here in case I want to add the idea that he can just kind of come in, or something like that. He can just kind of like come in straight at you like a laser and halberd or whatnot. And so I thought that was really cool. And that's like the idea for Leviathan. I personally think, dude, these are awesome. And now Bahamut Zero. I really wanted to find some way to kind of make his moves a lot better, but we're gonna go with the worst one first, okay? Bahamut Zero just comes in and just straight up sends a laser down diagonally into a stage. And you see those cracks kind of signify that can be broken into pieces, right? You can fracture this piece from this piece and they would separate that way. And he would just kind of walk around like Tiki, the assist trophy. She would like bring lasers down in other parts and kind of slowly fracture the pieces there and whatnot, you know? Kind of be a little bit of an annoying hazard, right? But let me go with my second best answer. That's a lot worse than what this one is. And this is basically the Terra Flare, but at the same time, it just starts off really small, and then all of a sudden, he just freaking expands. It's just right like that. And you have these platforms here that you can stay on instead, but it would expand across the entire stage and be so strong. It wouldn't instantly KO, depending on how much percentage you have, but like I imagine that this would be a huge idea, right? Where it would just completely be so strong that it fills up the entire stage. Okay, so personally, this is my favorite idea, where you have the Terra Flare coming in a little bit bigger than the original Terra Flare, and you just see it kind of getting stronger, and it quickly gets stronger, and it gets so strong that it kind of gets a little earthquakey, and then all of a sudden it flashes for 1 straight second. Everybody's kind of like all over the place, and then boom, ignore this line over the top here, rubble in the stage, which supports at most 2 people per platform, or 3, and it's just kind of scattered, you know, around the stage. And we're all just kind of flying and everything, and after a couple seconds, like 7, 8, or 9, the rubble disappears, dissolves, scatters, whatever, and then the players have to fall on top of a new platform, which comes in with the two platforms and everything, and it resets. And that is my idea for Bahamut Zero. You know, his laser has to intensify to get, like, you know, if he needs an intensification over, what am I saying? Over the Midgar stage, then I think this could be it, you know? An intensifying laser that can destroy these things. But, you know, I'm open to any other ideas as far as that goes. But yeah, that's just for the original summons that are already in the game. Obviously, these ideas are kind of crazy. Granted, you know, I'm looking at Northern Cave and its concept, and I'm just kind of disappointed that they didn't really squeeze that in there. But maybe it doesn't have to be already existing materia. These other materia, which Final Fantasy fans can already recognize, would be really good ideas for the Northern Cavern stage. Kujatora, which sends like 3 different elemental attacks all in one and explodes, and he ends up appearing and does like this rubble thing. Titan, which can take entire pieces of a stage and just throw it onto other people, or just flip it. Phoenix, which is like basically like how Sephiroth's like final attack looks like. It's like it's fire. And then Shiva, which is an iconic summon, which sends like some mist at first, and then the stage just freezes up with like crystallized ice and stuff, and it looks really cool. Listen, dude, I look at all of this materia and all of these like potential things that we could do, and it's just kind of disappointing that they didn't do anything this time around. And it sucks because it's Final Fantasy. You could do so much with it, but I guess the cinematic mattered more. What do you guys think? Is there any ideas that you guys have? Just reel them in. I'll listen to them and I'll talk about them with you. Other than that, that's a little analysis of what I got here. Yeah, that's basically it. Be sure to dude, share this to somebody. Let them know what they think. Let's discuss this over a little bit. See what you disagree with. I want to make sure I get this whole idea of hazards and, you know, the whole party aspect as much as I possibly can, so that, you know, we can encourage this in future, heck, in future updates or whatever. This is really cool stuff. If you're interested in this kind of discussion, right, be sure to leave a like, or even subscribe. I'm gonna do a lot of videos like this, Nintendo related, when it comes to discussing, you know, unpopular opinions and whatnot. Be sure to look out for future videos if you are subscribed, and I will see you guys next time. Peace out.